Hello and welcome to another edition of Rake Reflects. These are okay heroes. Pied Piper is my favorite. I think Piper might be my favorite hero in general at the present patch. It's just very strong early game, and then the ability to find good boys real easy in the late game gives you a very strong chance to actually win most lobbies. So here we go. And so this is an interesting spot where we're actually going to lock these two blind mice because it's going to be so easy for us to go ahead and get the third blind mouse with the Pied Piper hero power. A little note on positioning here. I was trying to figure out, we're up against Skip, so they're only going to have one hero, and what would be the best way to position. I chose position that way. Maybe it would have been a little bit better to put the unicorn in front, so it would have been impossible for that the Fiona princess that they did have to actually slay, but went ahead and did it that way, which does play a little bit better against Donkey. All right. And so here, just making ourselves as strong as possible. Going to take the pair of unicorns over the, just and go ahead and keep locking so we can get that final mouse. And here, pretty happy to see a 3-cost creature in the shop, and even happier once we take our free roll to see the third blind mouse. So things are going quite well there. Pretty easy turn. We can fast forward through these. We get into the combat, and somewhat unfortunately, our donkey summon does not do us any favors, and the big evil queen in the back is good enough for them. And here, I could have probably just immediately taken +3 to either attack or health. I decided to get a little bit greedy and take the coin because I can stick the polywoggle in slot 1, and if that catches a couple buffs, it'll be able to then hopefully right when we turn level 4, slay, turn itself into a level 5 character. It's a little greedy. Definitely at least a little greedy, but sometimes greed gets rewarded in this world. Not during this fight, though. This fight is not good for us. Again, a horrible donkey summon, and we take 10 damage, which is most unfortunate. And not seeing anything in this shop. Happy to pick up the Cinderella, just always. And so maybe could have played this a little bit differently. We take the sandals, we play the spell. It's possible we could have maybe tried to take the donkey first instead, because we are going to lock for this donkey pair. No, I think we played it the right way. It turns out I was right. Rake was right. This is the reflection I have made. Now, and we get into combat here, and not the greatest thing. We do actually get the slay from the polywoggle, but the combat itself goes badly. We take another 10 damage. And the polywoggle turns into an Arthur, which isn't great, but it has a good chunk of stats for 4.0. So we would like to kiss that into a level 5, or, if we could start tripling up some other royals, that'd be nice too. We take the stash because it doesn't look great for us, and cast a spell. Keep that Cindy progress going. Use our gold. Nothing too wrong with that. So these the Billy Goat and the Blind Mouse are pretty bad eyesores. The rest of our board's actually looking all right, but those two units need to get removed ASAP. Get into combat, and This one goes pretty well, especially we go ahead and attack into the Medusa. Getting the first attack in general against that board is quite strong. And we do a bunch there. And I'm looking at this Fairy Godmother pair, and with the two donkeys in the back, it seems like the play to make. A little unfortunate we can't cast a spell this turn, get our Cindy progress, but that's alright. A little repositioning, and hopefully with a little bit of luck, honestly, in retrospect, maybe it probably would have been better. Yeah, I'm just trying to get greedy and get another spell in here. Probably would have been better for me to put the unicorn in slot 1 so that it can hopefully die ASAP and then give plus 4 health to our donkeys, etc. But not to be. And then this combat is not good for us because this vampire just sticks around and farms our donkeys don't get big enough. Pick up a Lady of the Lake there, and we get this lovely donkey pair, or donkey triple rather. And with the discount, probably should have actually held that and not cast that quite as quickly. We will take the Krampus' Sleigh against the Ghost. There's a very high chance that we end up with very high chance against the Ghost that we win. Hopefully we get a good treasure out of them. If not, well, we at least get 5 gold. We should get some sort of treasure out of them. So. And we do. They're not particularly strong, and we get to get a treasure map out of them. Now, it's a little bit awkward. By the way, we are just farming gold on this one with the Summon Greedy. So the Cindy's about to proc, which isn't ideal. If we had an easy chance at a level 6 or 7 treasure, I might not do it, but I'll go ahead and get Cindy in there. And we take the Forking Rod, combos nicely with the Merlin's Hat. And then we can go ahead and get these Wombats set up in slot 1, hopefully get some coin buffs. And we get another one of these. Nice Lady of the Lake. And we're just going to go ahead and cast Ride of the Valkyrie, give all our creatures +6 attack. And then we see a second Wombat, and we're definitely going to take that. Some question of how to get there. Possible I should have sold one of the, probably should have sold Cinderella instead of the unicorn, but not likely to matter. And this combat ends up going against us eventually, because this big Spellweaver in the back is just a little too big. We do, fortunately, attack and kill the golden, the golden baby root. And I think I made a little bit of a panic buy here by getting the Scam Tree. Like, it's a fine unit. I was thinking how strong it is with the double Wombats, and that it's very unlikely to attack before it gets to scam something, but it doesn't have any attack on itself base, which could be. I already went ahead and cast 1 spell on it this turn. I probably should have gone ahead and fired off this what would have effectively been +8 attack on one of my Wombats, but chose not to. Trying to get a little bit greedier, and still trying to get greedy with this fork and not finding too much of anything. And here we're up against it. We're 1 fight away from dying. So again, we're going to look for something better. And magic research is not better than the +4 attack that we could have been doing, but it's something, so we cast it. We get into this combat, and not a particularly strong opponent. We get a fairly decent summon with this court wizard, and this combat goes our way eventually. We do get a fair bit of luck to do so. Simulator says we were, 25% to lose there, which is all right. And now we get to upgrade this wombat, and again looking for immediate value. So I take the ugly Gosling helm and get rid of. I keep the fork in the coin and get rid of the ball, or sorry, the hat. Get rid of the hat. So, and here we're heading into level 6 and just need to find a way to win this next fight. So I do think that the Robin Hood is a slight upgrade for us here. Reposition, try and get maximum value out of our wombats, and some reasonable donkey value, hopefully, eventually. And we get quite lucky by summoning this shoulder fairies. That's just huge enough to go ahead and farm their entire team. And then we get 2 random level 6 characters. So as the simulator here says, we were only about 25% to survive that last fight. So, so we get a Green Knight and whatever the dragon is, Stormbreath Dragon. I might be thinking of a magic card from 7 years ago, and we go ahead and can upgrade this Lady of the Lake. And I'm trying to think about. I probably should just skip here and try and find a good spell that I can fork, but I don't. I put in the gloves for the coin, which we're going into the late game, so that's not giving too much value anymore. And again, we're going to have to try and sell to spike something, and would love to cast that Rite of the Valkyries, but we just don't have the gold for it. But we get into combat here, and our opponent is kind of a mishmash, nothing too strong. And again, we get lucky with our summon off of the wombats. Turns out it was a siren all along, and that's able to clean out our opponent, even with stealing a couple of their guys. So now we stole a Burnbeard from them, so we are now kind of full on trying to transition into trees. And I decide that casting the health potion, getting us up to 9 life, there's a reasonable chance that we lose this next fight with only 1 or 2 unupgraded units on the other side. I figure it's worth 1 gold just to try. And then we get the Pigomorph here. Very strong in the end, particularly against Geppetto. If they're a summon strategy, shutting down that could be quite good. And we get into combat, and they are a summon strategy, not particularly going off. We do Pigomorph, kind of the worst thing, but it doesn't matter because they never really quite, they are summoning some stuff, but it's not that important to us. It's not that scary. I was a little bit worried that there'd be a Juliet popping out of there, but no, there's a Wombat summons. Oh, and so briefly on the previous turn there, I did decide to lock the Mix-a-Wizzle because we have this upgraded level 4 Shoulder Fairies that's not playing. And as a tree board, if we can Mix-a-Wizzle into either a Green Knight, a Echo Wood, a Burnbeard, or a Ashwood Elm, which is, I believe, 4 out of the 15 level 6 units, 4 out of 15, 4 out of 16, something like that. If we can hit that, it's going to give us a great chance to finish off the game. Turns out it was just a unit our opponent would very much like to have, but doesn't do that much for us. Don't really need a second Storm Breath. The first one wasn't big enough to take care of anything in their back row anyway, unupgraded. We will go ahead and grab this Echo Wood. Probably should have sold the pigs for it instead of the other guy, but instead of the golden chicken. And yeah, we're struggling for something because Candy Rain getting me +2 attack on there is not that great. So I should have rearranged my put the Green Knight in slot 6 so that it would be supporting the Wombats. And now that we've got the Lady of the Lake in the back, the Wombats will be picking up the Helm of the Ugly Gosling buff for +15/+15. And we do decide to just try and fog this Broomhilda in the back, which could be a little bit scary. You know, we can't really afford to take much of it in the way of a loss, so we do fight our way through here, and fortunately they don't summon a great unit with their wombats. They're not as lucky or skillful as we are, and we were fairly favored in that fight anyway, and we just go ahead and spike this righteousness onto the Ashwood, give it some extra health, give everything else extra attack, put some extra health on our Burnbeard and our Echo Wood. Finally figure out how to rearrange our targets here, and we get into combat really hoping our opponent hasn't really found anything to just turn it up to 11, and they haven't. They have not, you know, they haven't found a Bearstein, depending on your predilection, and we take down this fight pretty easily. Again, they didn't summon like a golden pumpkin or something, which could have gotten us. And I would not have liked to see a golden pumpkin at the end there. And yeah, that's a win for us. Not the typical Pied Piper, but you know, the lobby started to break down pretty quickly. We found ourselves in top 3, made a quick little pivot into trees to give ourselves a chance, and that was good enough to take care of Geppetto, which didn't quite get it all together. So thanks for watching. Subscribe for more, and until next time, may all your shops be gorgeous and all your hits be surgical.